At the outset of chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, who is still in a dilemma, asks Krishna, if you consider knowledge to be superior to action, then why do you urge me to engage in this terrible war? He further asks Krishna to tell him that one path which would be beneficial to him. Shri Krishna then states that there are two faiths that are practiced in this world, Sankhya Yoga and Karma Yoga. Those persons who are grihasthas, who have duties to perform, need to choose Karma Yoga or the path of action. Shri Krishna then explains how action is fundamental to life, and further he condemns inaction. Shri Krishna then addresses Arjuna's queries in the 7th to the 12th slokas that we would be covering today. Yasvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhaterjuna कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते. तु अर्जुन यः मनसा इन्द्रियाणि नियम्य. तु but Arjuna, that person who through his manasa mind indriyani niyamya controls his sense organs, karmendriyaihi karmayogam arabate. Asakta karmendriyaihi karmayogam arabate. Asakta without desires. Karma yoga arabate, he follows the discipline of karma yoga. He starts following the discipline of karma yoga. So that person who without desires follows the discipline of karma yoga through his organs of action, saha visishyate, that person, he is superior. The word yoga means union with the Supreme, that is Lord Krishna. So karma yogi is that person who performs his prescribed duties by keeping his mind focused on the Supreme, on Lord Krishna. To be a good karma yogi, control of the mind is very, very important. The mind should be detached from the material objects, because it is a mind which moves the sense organs, that is the indriyani, the various sense organs like eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. When the mind is wise, it doesn't wander, it stays focused and pure and harmonized. Then the sense organs work as per the mind's instructions to perform the prescribed duties. So a person who controls his mind and then controls his senses, that is, control of mind comes first. So a person who controls his mind and then controls his senses and body and practices karma yogi is definitely superior. Now, superior to whom? In the 6th shloka, Shri Krishna talks about the fake sannyasi. That is a person who has renounced action, but his mind still wanders. Shri Krishna tells that such a person who has no control over his mind, but he has become a sannyasi, that person is called a hypocrite. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna makes it clear that a householder or a grihastha who is a karma yogi is superior and is held in very high esteem. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayo hyakarmanah sharira yatra pichate na prasidyeda karmanah. Tvam niyatam karma kuru. You do the duties prescribed in the Shastras. He akarmanah karmajyayah. Karmajyayah because akarmanah, action is superior to inaction. Cha akarmanah te sharira yatra api na prasidyeta. Even maintaining the physical body will not be possible if you are an akarmanah, that is, if you are idle. So by performing the work prescribed in the Shastras, the mind becomes pure. So every person needs to do his duties as per his varna, whether he is a kshatriya, whether he is a brahmin, as per his guna, whether he has an inclination to intellectual activities, what kind of inclination he has, whether according to his ashram, whether he is a brahmachari or whether he belongs to grihastha ashram. So if he is a kshatriya, he needs to fight for his country and protect the people. As a family man, he should take care of his family, his parents. So every person has to perform his duties as per the Shastras. When a person is idle and fails to perform his action, then he is only committing sins. So don't we demand speedy action from government servants? When he is a government servant, he should perform his duties as prescribed, as he is supposed to do. So, not performing one's duties is definitely a sin. Not only that, it increases the tamas gun in a person and it causes apprehensions and leads to the fall of the person. Not only that, even maintenance of the physical body is not possible when there is no action. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणः अन्यत्र other than, that is only work other than those performed for yajna, that is for sacrifice. Ayam lokaha karma bandhanaha. Karma bandhanaha, earlier we discussed that karma bandhana, that is the cycle of births and deaths. So only that work other than those performed for yajna or for sacrifices binds the world in karma bandhana. Kaunteya mukta sangaha tadartam karma samachara. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, therefore mukta sangaha tadartam karma samachara. Therefore Arjuna, perform work for tadartam here refers to sacrifice, because earlier Krishna has said that only work other than those performed for yajna leads to karma bandhana, puts this world in a karma bandhana. So therefore perform work for sacrifice. Asakta mukta sangaha is without any attachment. So yajna in common parlance is some form of fire ritual, but here it refers to performing karma without any selfish motive for the benefit of the society. So when a teacher imparts knowledge to his or her students, it is for the benefit of the society. When a kshatriya fights for the country, then it is for the country. So work done with commitment and with no selfish motive for the benefit of the society is a sacrifice. So work done for yajna, that is as a sacrifice, does not result in karma bandhana. Arjuna therefore perform work for sacrifice without any attachment. Saha yajna praja srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yeshavottvishta kamaduk. Pura, earlier in the beginning of creation, Prajapati Sahayajnaha Prajaha Srishtva Uvacha. Prajapati, that is Vishnu. Okay, Sahayajnaha Prajaha. So Prajapati, in the beginning of creation, he created Yajnaha, that is sacrifices, along with Praja, that is along with mankind. And Uvacha, he said, Anena Prasavishyadvam. That is Yeshaha Vaha Ishta Kamaduk Astu. So Prajapati said, through this yajna, Prasavishyadvam, thou shalt propagate through this yajna. And Yeshaha Vaha Ishta Kamaduk Astu. This will be like Ishta Kamaduk. Kamaduk is the wish fulfilling divine celestial cow Kamadenu. So Prajapati, that is Vishnu, the Lord of all living beings, the protector, Vishnu, he who created this world, also taught and introduced all persons to the various yajnas or sacrifices. So in the previous shloka we saw that yajna, apart from fire sacrifice, it also means selfless service to humanity, society and to God. So these yajnas were taught to man by Prajapati so that he can lead his life fruitfully and move past in the journey of life to achieve siddhi, that is final perfection. The yajnas are like the divine Kamadenu cow, the celestial cow Kamadenu. By performing the yajnas, man can achieve both his spiritual goals and he can also get material prosperity. Now, Prajapati's mercy on mankind is infinite. He anticipated at the very outset that man, due to his very nature, would get distracted and get involved in undesirable activities, after which he would suffer immense sorrow and pain. So these yajnas, which are a means to prosperity and freedom, would keep a person focused on the right path. So for a grihastha, pancha mahayajnas are recommended. Bhuta yajna, Manushya yajna, Pitra yajna, Deva yajna and Brahma yajna. Bhuta yajna offering food every day to living beings like animals, birds, etc. For instance, from cow we get milk, and animals also in a way they help us in our day-to-day life. Birds also. So because birds carry trees, seeds, trees grow. So we need to show our gratitude to all those, and we need to share our resources with them. So Bhuta yajna. Manushya yajna, we need to share whatever material objects that we have, whatever resources that we have with fellow beings. We need to offer our fellow beings, those who are not so well off, we need to offer them food, money and water. Pitra yajna, we need to offer our pitrus, our ancestors, water. Because only because of the parents, only because of our parents, only because of the pitrus we are living in this world. Deva yajna, give offer to gods every day. Now Brahma yajna, one needs to recite Vedas and other shlokas like Vishnu Sahasranamam and offer them to God. It helps improve our intellect, also gives us positive thoughts. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah paramavapsyata. Anena devan bhavayata. Anena, through these yajnas, because we were talking about yajnas in the previous sloka. So through these yajnas, devan bhavayata. Please the devan, that is all the devatas, the celestial gods, and nourish them. Te devaha vaha bhavayantu. Now these devatas will in turn nourish you. Parasparam bhavayantaha paramashreyaha avapsyate. By nourishing each other, parasparam, by nourishing each other, you both, that is both the devatas and the humans, shreyaha avapsyate, they shall attain the highest good. So pleased with the sacrifice made by humans, the celestial gods like Agni Deva, Vayu Deva, Varuna Deva, Indra Deva, they bestow prosperity on us and fulfill our desires like the celestial cow Kamadhenu. So perform yajnas, nurture the devatas and mutually prosper. By worshipping Lord Vishnu, we worship all the gods, all the devatas. Since all the devatas, they get their power only from Lord Vishnu. So both man's efforts and God's grace are needed for accomplishment of any task. So praying to the devatas and better praying to Lord Vishnu himself gives us solace and light and protects us from the dangers of life and bestows us prosperity. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha dasyante yajna bhavitaha tairdattan apradayaibhyah yo bhunkte stena eva saha. Yajnabhavitaha devaha ishtan bhogan hi dasyante. Yajnabhavitaha devaha, that is the devatas nourished by our sacrifices. Ishtan bhogan hi dasyante. So those devatas, they definitely grant us the ishtan bhogan, the desired enjoyments. Taihi dattan yebhyah, that is the enjoyments, the material objects given by the devatas. Apradaya bhunkte sahastena eva. Apradaya, without offering. So that person who without offering bhunkte, he consumes everything. So those who enjoy the benefits of all those objects given by the devatas, without offering, apradaya bhunkte, without offering, he himself consumes. Sahastena eva, that person is definitely a thief. So the demigods, that is the devatas, derive the power from Vishnu. It is due to the blessings of Lord Vishnu and the devatas we are able to lead a prosperous life on this earth. So we are dependent on the cow for the milk. It is because of our parents and forefathers that we have this physical body. So we need to show our gratitude to our fellow beings. We need to show our devotion to all of them. It is Lord Vishnu and the devatas who provide us with all the natural resources and other enjoyments so that we can live happily in this world. So food, water, air and all other natural resources belong to the God. By offering them to God and other fellow living beings, we get the grace of the Devatas and Lord Vishnu. So, Lord Krishna in the shloka tells us that a person who misappropriates these resources for himself without sharing and offering them to the Devatas is definitely a thief, and of course, we too will agree to that. Summarizing what we have covered in today's video, in the 7th shloka, Shri Krishna says that a karma yogi who controls the sense organs and action through the power of his will is superior. Then Shri Krishna urges Arjuna to perform his prescribed duties and he condemns inaction. To get rid of karma bandhana, Shri Krishna advises us to perform action for the sake of yajna or sacrifice. In the beginning of creation, Prajapati created mankind and yajna, and he said to humans that by performing these yajnas thou shalt prosper. Foster the devatas through sacrifices, through yajnas, and they in turn would bless you with prosperity.